Good. Good afternoon. I'm Dennis Galucki, and welcome to the 520th Imagine Greater Buffalo program and our 142nd YouTube Imagine Buffalo video hosted by our wonderful Buffalo and Erie County Public Library. Now, we're so glad that you joined us on this first session of the new year and the beginning of our 15th season at the Imagine program. The program is created by the Center for the Study of Art, Architecture, History, and Nature, or SAAHN, and ImagineLifelongLearning.com. Two themes Imagine have always been part of this program. One is Imagine Greater Buffalo as a premier cultural and nature center. The second is to imagine a healthy, wealthy, and sustainable community. And it's the second one that we'll be looking at today. And in both cases, we're invited to imagine place-based lifelong learning, hence our website, ImagineLifelongLearning.com. Now, before we get started, just a little housekeeping. Everyone watching will be muted and your video turned off. If you have a question or comment, please type it into the chat box and we'll go through them at the end of the presentation. We are recording this program, so you can watch it again later on the Downtown Central Library's Facebook page and YouTube channels, and we certainly hope you share the link with others. Now, on to our featured speaker. Catherine Shick is the Public Relations Manager for FeedMore Western New York, a hunger relief nonprofit formed by the merger of the Food Bank of Western New York and Meals on Wheels for Western New York. FeedMore Western New York serves community members of all ages throughout 4 counties in Western New York: Cattaraugus, Chautauqua, Erie, and Niagara counties. So they have much to tell us about food needs in Western New York. Let's hear it from Catherine. Catherine, take it away. Catherine.
Here we go. We had
There
some
you go.
technical issues unmuting, unfortunately, but I'm here now.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for having me. It is just such an honor to present on behalf of FeedMore Western New York to this group. We absolutely love the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library system. We thank you for the tremendous work you're doing in our community to help our community and to promote lifelong learning. So I am going to go over high level a little bit more about food insecurity today, as well as the work of FeedMore Western New York. I am just going to share my screen. If anyone cannot see that, just please let us know in the chat, but this should be good to go. So we are going to look at FeedMore Western New York through that lens of a healthy, wealthy, and sustainable community and imagining place-based lifelong learning. So as we just discussed, FeedMore Western New York is actually the merger of 2 hunger relief nonprofits in the community that have been operating for decades, the Food Bank of Western New York and Meals on Wheels for Western New York. We came together in 2019 with a goal of helping to really fill any gaps in service, help better meet unmet needs in our community, and truly work to leverage our resources and our talents to better alleviate hunger. So the Food Bank of Western New York, we began in 1979 with a group of food pantries in Erie County, and then eventually spread to those 4 counties we mentioned. Similarly, Meals on Wheels for Western New York started in 1969 with a handful of homes that they were delivering meals to on the west side of Buffalo. And that, of course, continued to grow as well. And now today we are FeedMore Western New York. We serve 4 counties and serve community members of all ages, backgrounds, and circumstances. Our mission at FeedMore Western New York, as you can see, is to offer dignity, hope, and a brighter future by providing nutritious food, friendship, and skills training to our Western New York neighbors in need. And I want to highlight that mission. It's so important because, yes, at the core of it is nutritious food access, but we're also working to provide so much more than nutritious food. We're trying to provide that friendship. We're providing that friendship through programs like our Meals on Wheels services, which we also call our home delivered meals program, where our volunteers actually not only deliver that nutritious food, but they're providing well-being checks and companionship to homebound neighbors who may not see anyone else that day besides their home delivered meal volunteer. We're providing dignity through items such as our pantry partners that are set up with an emphasis on client choice. So instead of getting a prepackaged bag of nutritious food, you can shop that pantry like you would a grocery store and be responsible for your own choices, what you know that you best are going to eat and take home, as well as what your family would like to eat and take home. So again, offering that dignity piece. And brighter futures through programs like our nutrition education classes. We have classes from as early as our Kids in the Kitchen classes that teach children and young adults how to prepare food and make healthy choices, all the way up to older adult cooking classes and nutrition education programs and group and individualized counseling, as well as our free workforce development program. And I'm going to touch a little bit on that free workforce development program in just a few minutes. So again, while nutritious food access is the core, we're really taking a holistic approach to alleviating hunger and tackling those root insecurity, those root causes of hunger and food insecurity. We don't want to just be treating the symptom of hunger. We want to feed the line of those who need food assistance and also shorten the line of those who need food assistance. So who we serve people of all ages, backgrounds, and services, as I mentioned, throughout our 4-county service area. We partner with nearly 400 hunger relief partners throughout our 4 counties of Erie, Niagara, Cattaraugus, and Chautauqua County. Those are food pantries, soup kitchens, shelters. We work with schools. We provide additional food support to schools and youth programs. We are working with really, again, agencies of all different types of backgrounds who may need food assistance or are serving people who need food assistance. And we're not just serving our cities as well. We're truly serving our suburbs and our rural communities. We know that anyone can experience food insecurity. There is no one face of hunger. There is no one face of food insecurity. And anyone can experience food insecurity when they are put into an economic situation that keeps them from accessing the food they need, or when the systems that should support them do not. And, truly, we're seeing people of all different walks of life. I know people are always a little bit surprised to see college students on that list, or perhaps working families on that list. But again, people with multiple jobs who still may be struggling to make ends meet. And what is food insecurity? Food insecurity is actually a measurement by the USDA, and it is a lack of access to enough nutritious food for a healthy, active life. So you could be experiencing food insecurity at different times of your life. People who are food insecure can be also experiencing poverty, can be experiencing unemployment, or may experience an income shock, like a sudden diagnosis of a medical situation, and now you have to allocate those resources to your medical bills, maybe not leaving you enough resources for things like rent or groceries. A lot of times, when you're getting into that situation of very low food security, you are getting into coping mechanisms. Perhaps, again, trying to decide, do I pay for my mortgage this month? Do I pay the bills for my rent this month or my utilities? Or do I get enough groceries to help me and my family this week? Maybe I'm skipping a meal to make sure my children eat. Maybe I'm watering down meals. Or maybe I'm choosing the less nutritious options, because we know oftentimes that the most nutritious food, those fresh protein items like fresh meats, low-fat dairy items, fresh fruits and vegetables, are oftentimes the most difficult to access because they could be more expensive. And oftentimes they may not be at a convenience store, maybe they're at a grocery store, which are miles and miles away and require public transportation to get to. So again, all those can lead to what is known as food insecurity. And food insecurity is on the rise right here in Western New York and throughout the United States. In 2022, according to a recent survey by the USDA, 44 million people, including 13 million children in the US, lived in food insecure households. That was an increase of nearly 31% and 44%, respectively. This is the highest rate and number since 2014 in terms of food insecure households in the US, and the largest 1-year jump, the largest 1-year increase since 2008. So there has been a pretty staggering increase in terms of food insecurity throughout the United States, and we are seeing that here as well. In 2022, we saw an increase as well. We actually served over 197,500 individuals throughout that 4-county service area. And that is actually more people than we served during the height of the pandemic in 2020. Now, we know that a lot of those increases are being attributed to the fact that food and the cost of living continues to rise. We all experience that if we have vehicles and we're going to, pay to fill our gas at the pump or whenever we go grocery shopping. We know that inflation continues to be problems. And of course, the end at the same time of many pandemic era benefits. That is all leading to a situation where more and more individuals and families are vulnerable and they are food insecure. Things like the expanded SNAP allotment. SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which was formerly known as food stamps. There were additional emergency allotments that took place of SNAP during the pandemic that sunsetted in March of 2023. And that especially has left a lot of people more vulnerable since they were getting less in those SNAP dollars. And we know that SNAP is the first line of defense against hunger and food insecurity. For every meal that we as a hunger relief organization can provide, and hunger relief organizations across the nation can provide, SNAP actually provides 9 meals. So again, the impact that programs like SNAP have on curbing food insecurity is truly monumental. And when there are a cut to those programs, people are left more vulnerable. I'm just going to check the chat real quick. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take you a little bit through how some of our programs work. Our food bank distribution network, as you can see, a lot of people may hear the term food bank and food pantry and think they're one and the same. We're actually a food bank. And what that means is we take in those donations of food and funds. We have a warehouse in right in Buffalo, as well as a satellite warehouse in Falconer and Chautauqua County. We are able to take in those donations. So when you have a food drive and you hear, FeedMore Western New York is collecting food, whether that's through our recent Food to Families food drive at Tops Friendly Markets, or our Rock Out Hunger food drive, if you heard of that, at Millard Fillmore Suburban Hospital around Thanksgiving time in tandem with 97 Rock. All of those donations come back to our warehouse, and then we actually have a wonderful team of volunteers. We're always looking for more volunteers, but we have volunteers who help us sort and package those food donations. They're making sure that the donated items are not dented, are damaged in any way. We do use food keeper guidelines through the USDA, which means we can use food past their best by date that is still safe, but they're still checking to make sure that they're in line with those best dates as determined by the food keeper and the federal government. Then they're packaging them up, and they actually go out on our trucks to our 400 hunger relief partner agencies throughout Erie, Niagara, Chautauqua, and Cattaraugus County. So we actually deliver those right to the doorsteps of those agencies that we serve. Instead of having them come all the way us, we like to provide that at no additional charge to them, to those pantries. So we distribute to the 4 counties. Our agencies open their doors, and together in that chain of partnership, we feed the community. So you do not actually come to our warehouse to receive food assistance. We bring the food to you, whether that's through our network of partner agencies or through our home delivered meal services, or through the programs that we work with through schools where we're reaching students. We're bringing the food to the community. The community does not come to us. So on the photo on the left-hand side, you can kind of see a little peek into what our warehouse looks like. And one of our wonderful team members is palletizing some food donations, getting them ready to be served out into the counties. And then the photo on the right is an example of one of our food pantries. And you can see some of those canned food items stacked up and ready for people to come through and pick what they want to take home. And then a little bit of how our home delivered meals program works, our prepared meals program. We receive client referrals that could be through someone calling us saying, hey, my mom or dad really can't prepare meals like they used to anymore. They've really, they're an older adult. It's really hard for them to get out of the house to shop for meals, and it's hard for them to make the meals. I think they may be a good fit for Meals on Wheels or your home delivered meal program, which again is one and the same. Or we could get a referral from the county as well, that someone is in need of our assistance through our home delivered meal program. We develop nutritious meal plans. We work with the county as well as our team of registered dietitians to make sure that each meal that we make reaches 1/3 of the RDA, the recommended dietary allowance for an older adult. And then we make these meals fresh each day in our commissary. We do have 6 different diets. So not only do we have our regular diet that, a lot of people go on, but we have special diets to meet medical needs, such as a renal diet, a diet for people who may be living with diabetes, a ground diet, a bland diet for people who may not be able to consume spices. We also have an avoiding gluten diet. So again, we're really trying to make sure that we're assessing different medical needs and meeting people on an individual level. We prepare those meals fresh each day in our commissary. We make about 6,000 meals each day, and we distribute them to our different sites, our home delivered meal sites throughout Erie and Niagara County. We actually borrow so gratefully different spaces or community groups. They lend their offices to us just so our volunteers can meet there. So they're not, again, driving all the way to our headquarters, but we're coming to them, and then they can just pick up the meals and deliver in and around the neighborhoods that they live or work in. Again, making it easier on the volunteers. And then our volunteers are delivering to our homebound neighbors, and together, again, we're feeding people in need. And as you can see on that photo on the right, just as important as the nutritious meal is the visit from the volunteer themselves. Our volunteers are taking a few minutes each stop to, just ask, how's your day going? Did you watch anything good on TV? How about them bills? How's the weather? Anything, you want to touch upon. And again, it's feeding that emotional health and socialization just as important as the meal is feeding in terms of physical health. So we really, really always need more volunteers for this program. It makes such a difference in the lives of our homebound neighbors. Our homebound neighbors really truly look forward to that visit each and every day, and it may be the only person they see that day. We have had volunteers respond and deliver a meal in the middle of a medical crisis. And in that case, it was the volunteer who was able to save them, call for assistance, and have a better outcome than if they did not have a volunteer that day. Maybe the outcome would have been different. So again, really, really critical to have those boots on the ground. And we do have a team of social workers at our offices working in tandem with our volunteers. Our volunteers always call our social work team if something seems amiss or if someone's not answering the door, so we can follow up with the client's family and make sure everything's okay. And while those are two of our most well-known programs, we do offer a variety of different programs to help meet the needs of the community. Again, a lot of these are aimed not just at tackling the issue of hunger, but its root causes as well. Some of the ways we're doing that is through growing our own food. You can see on this list our community garden. That is a traditional garden that we have, operates typically April through October, November, depending on how good our weather cooperates with us. But as we know, we do live in Western New York, and it snows and it's cold. So that is why we've actually acquired 2 hydroponic container farms. These look like if you would step inside a truck bed, except it's not on wheels. It's just that flat freight container farm. It operates year round. It's hydroponic. It uses LED lights and a nutrient blend to grow food year round for our neighbors in need. That food goes out on our farm market trucks. You'll see farm market on this list as well. And what's so great about our farm market is that is another way we're promoting nutritious food access. This is actually food that is for purchase. Unlike our other programs that are providing food at no cost, this is actually a market. So people can come and buy food at much lower cost than they would see at a grocery store. We're coming to you. So we have a list of stops throughout the community, whether that's at a school or an affordable housing complex or a senior center where we know people are gathering, and those people may have difficulty accessing nutritious fruits and vegetables otherwise for whatever reason. Anyone can use this program, and we do offer SNAP and double up food bucks, as well as certain coupons on this program as well. So we can actually grow food to use on our farm market, and as well as work with local farmers to stock the trucks with fresh food. And you can see that photo of our farm market is on the bottom of our slide here. And we're able to take real-time feedback from our community members. So for example, we had a lot of requests for growing bok choy from our neighbors through the farm market. So we were able to go back to our container farms, try growing bok choy, and then again, present it quickly out into the community. So we really love being able to have that real-time feedback and provide that fresh food. We also have a food pharmacy program. That is a collaborative with Catholic Health as well as Deauville University. We partner with the Catholic Health's primary care center at Deauville Health Professions Hub. So people actually come there for primary care, are screened for food insecurity, and if they are considered to be at risk of food insecurity or experiencing food insecurity, they actually are referred to our food pharmacy program. We have an on-campus food pantry operated by one of our registered dietitians. So not only are they receiving nutritious food, they get that prescription for fruit and vegetable intake at the food pantry, but they're also receiving individualized and group nutrition counseling through our food pharmacy services. So you actually go through a year of nutrition counseling with our registered dietitian. You can stay on longer if needed. You don't have to be part of that primary care center to be experiencing the food pharmacy. You can come in just as a community member or as a student of Deauville University. So we're really proud of that program, and we love to see those collaborations in place where we're addressing those root causes of hunger and really taking a holistic approach to hunger and health and looking at the intersections of hunger and health. And then our RISE workforce development training. This is a program that we launched at the heart of the pandemic in December of 2020, and it's continuing to grow. It is a free job training program for people with high barriers to employment. So that includes people who may have experienced previous justice involvement, people who may have overcome substance abuse, people who otherwise have never been able to really seek out a skills training program, whether that's through college or vocational training or for whatever reason. We had a mom go through this program who has always had to take care of her daughters. She is a single mother of 3 children. She just never was able to access job training because of the fact that she was juggling childcare and transportation issues. We provide those wraparound services through our RISE Workforce Development Program. We're providing access to childcare and transportation, as well as food assistance and a hot lunch each day. So all you have to do is come and focus on the training itself. You receive 2 certifications, a certified logistics technician and certified logistics assistants after 10 weeks in the program. You also learn a lot of other certifications as well, OSHA training, certified forklift certification, and you learn how to work in a warehouse and logistics environment. We're also teaching soft skills like financial literacy, nutrition education, resume writing, how to prepare for an interview. So this program has been incredibly successful. We continue to grow this program. We unfortunately are at a position right now where we can only grow it so much because of limited space in our facilities and on our campus. Our next goal is to not only grow this workforce, logistics and warehouse program, but launch a culinary training program as well to help people going into the culinary field. And really, it is because of the fact that we are completely operating far beyond our capacity that we just can't grow this program at the ability we want to right now. The fact that our merger led to an organic growth, as well as the pandemic, which led to an explosion of need in the community and beyond, as we are now seeing in 21 and 22, and many of those social benefits have rolled back, we're in a position where we're operating far beyond our capacity. We're currently renting and borrowing about 30,000 square feet of additional storage just to maintain our operations. You can see some of the photographs that I've included that kind of show a little bit of our tight corners. Our only meeting space has since been used as additional storage. You can see at the top there, and you can see a photo of our volunteers working in a bit of an overcrowded situation in our warehouse at the bottom photo. And unfortunately, we're actually turning away 1.2 million pounds of food each year because we cannot safely store it. And that is just an absolute tragedy. But we always want to be good stewards of donations. And I want to clarify here that these are not those food donations that we're asking for in the community through community food drives. Those we always need and we are always able to take in. What we are turning away is those large scale donations that may come from a food industry partner that we just cannot store because we do not have dedicated clean rooms to break down such a large donation and re-individual package it in more individual bags for consumer use and for our client use. So I just want to make that distinction so you don't think that those food donations that you're donating to us are being turned away. It is those large scale food industry partner donations that we would absolutely need, but we just cannot accept right now due to our storage issues. So what we have done is we're investing in the future of FeedMore, and we are investing in the future of Western New York. We have purchased a 74-acre parcel of land in Hamburg, New York. This is actually the geographic center of our service area. It really allows us to get not just through Erie County, but to Niagara County and down in Cattaraugus and Chautauqua County as well. It really helps us be able to quickly get to all 4 counties with those food shipments that I talked about earlier. Our new facility is going to include 2 times the warehouse space plus 8 additional loading docks. We're going to be able to increase our commercial kitchen capacity to 20,000 meals per day, allowing us to make more meals for our homebound neighbors as well as for our neighbors that we serve through our community dining program, and room for additional program expansion. So being able to expand our RISE program to take more students and add additional training tracks. So we're really excited to be able to move into the future and being able to better serve our neighbors in need so we can more effectively continue our mission instead of what we're able to do at the moment, which is challenging with our space limitations. Currently, we have made great strides towards our goal, our funding goal with corporate, foundation, and government donors, but we are asking for the community's help. We are looking for donations, both large and small. It does not have to be a large donation to make an incredible difference. We are asking people to, look to their book groups and book clubs and community groups, or a service organization that you're a part of, to help us spread the word about our need for a new facility and join us in this solution and in this quest to build this new facility. So other ways you can get involved, and I will share this really quick because I just see that we are very, very low on time here. Volunteering, we always need more volunteers. We do have a variety of volunteer programs that we operate, so we really could help you find one that's going to fit your needs. Holding a food or fun drive, we're always looking for folks to help us hold food and fun drives for the organization. And then, of course, by spreading the word. We're on social media. You can continue to follow us there, as well as, just telling a friend who may be in need of food assistance that we are around and we could be of help. Here is our information. I'm going to leave this up on the screen just for a second so you can copy it down. Again, this was extremely high level, so I do encourage you to reach out to us as well as visit our website for more information on any of our programs and services. Thank you.
Catherine, great job of summarizing a very large effort that you folks undertake. Folks, this is your chance to submit any questions. Please do so to Maureen. I'll just observe that I hadn't appreciated that you can have to reject large donations from food organizations. I assume this is these have a decent shelf life, so it's not about things that are fresh produce here, but we're talking canned goods that to say no to when people need it. I can see the need for this new warehouse.
Correct. Correct. So again, it's those things like maybe a 50-pound bag of rice or a 100-pound bag of rice that, we couldn't break down into smaller quantities that maybe a food industry partner would give it to us, and we'd otherwise gratefully accept and know would be put to good use. But we don't have the clean rooms that would allow us to safely break that down and repackage it, where our new facility would in fact allow us to do just that.
So when you show 200,000, almost 200,000 people being served, the 4 counties, maybe a little over 1 million people, that's pushing 20%. 1 out of 5 people that are using your service at some point in time during the year. Is that a correct way of saying it?
That is a way to look at it, yes. And again, I mean, it could be certain points of the year. So we have had people reach out to us and used our service perhaps when they have suddenly lost a job and they're between work and they're looking for work and they need assistance to help get back on their feet. And then we have people like our older adults who are being served, or maybe someone who's living with a disability who's being served by our home delivered meal program. And they are people who won't, use this service for the short term, but we are here to help them for however long. That is, our goal is to make sure that anyone who's in need of food assistance for any period of time, for whatever reason, are able to receive that nutritious food and support that they need.
Good. Maureen, how are we doing for any questions?
We do have one question. Could you describe how your organization assists and or serves veterans?
Great question. So we do partner with food pantries that do serve veterans, whether that is through a food pantry or our mobile food pantries, which again is another way we're getting out into the community with additional influx of donations of fresh produce and low-fat dairy items and lean meats. So we do serve veterans as well as community members of all ages and all backgrounds. And you can look for a pantry near to where you live or work by going on our website and visiting our Find Food button. You can actually type in your zip code, and we do encourage anyone who is in need of food assistance to be able to do this. So that is one way, and we also do special donations, special organizational events as throughout the year periodically, including the Buffalo Stand Down event in partnership with the VA.
That's all I
Any
have
others?
today.
Okay, I'll close by observing you have wonderful supporters in the community. One of them is a year-end support issue that helps fund this new warehouse, I'm sure, and that's Western Subaru rather. And you might want to comment. I think that closes today, so Subaru buyers head out there, I would say, and make a purchase today, or at least yeah, give it a try. Am I correct on that?
You're absolutely right. Yes, Westher has been a good supporter of FeedMore Western New York. Westher Subaru and Subaru of America are holding the annual Share the Love campaign. So if you happen to be in need of a new Subaru or want to buy or lease a Subaru, today is the last day you can actually head down to Westher Subaru, purchase or lease a new Subaru, and donate up to $300 to FeedMore Western New York at no additional cost to you. This hopefully will be running again next year. So if this year wasn't your year, but you know you want a new vehicle in the future, tune in around November. That's when they usually start the campaign again.
Good, good. Good way to finish up on that. I'm part of the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo's 21st Century Fund. So when you mentioned those two pods that you have on the east side of Buffalo, did that work to your expectations? You were a winner. You beat out many applicants for that grant a couple years ago. Did it succeed the way you hoped?
Absolutely. Yes. The 21st Century Fund funded one of our container farms, our hydroponic container farms that we talked about earlier. And it is absolutely incredible. We are so grateful. We now have 2 hydroponic container farms, and each one grows about 4 to 6 acres of crops. So it's really incredible what you can do in these farms. We do hope to add more of these container farms when we receive our new facility. And one thing I do want to add about that new facility is, again, what's so important about that is the ability for us to continue to reach our community members. It is not something that is going to be impacting our community members negatively because of the fact that we bring the food to them. So no matter where we're located, our services work by providing the food to the community members, and this will allow us to more efficiently do just that.
And one last point, we have so many community gardens in Buffalo. I've had them on this program, the Providence Farm out in Orchard Park. Do you become an outlet for their food as well? Do you collaborate with many of these?
We purchase food for our farm market through Providence Farm. So that is one of the local farms we have partnered with. So we really try to, as much as possible for our farm market, when the season allows us to, work with local farmers like our wonderful partners at Providence Farm to supply our farm market program.
Well, Catherine, thank you. This was an excellent program, and thank you very much for creating it for us today and sharing it with the community. And folks, thank you.
Pleasure.
You're quite welcome. Thank you again for joining us today. We hope you join us next week here on Zoom as we're joined by Kelly Hayes McAloney. Now, she is the author of the book, Louise Blanchard Bethune, Every Woman Her Own Architect. If you've ever gone to the Lafayette Hotel, you have the privilege of walking in the first building built by a woman architect. She was the leader in that field, and it's a distinction we have here in Buffalo. So we're surely going to hear more about Louise Blanchard Bethune next Tuesday. I'm Dennis Galucki. Be well and good day.